Hello, people. How you doing today?
Welcome back.
So, it's January, the year of
Not wait. Oh, the
the year,
year, the month,
the month. That's why I realized I said the year of.
the month of not spending.
Yeah, actually. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Actually, what?
As I say, what Chinese New Year is it this year? Like, is it
Oh,
is it the year of the what?
I don't know. Comment below if you know.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
But that's what a lot of you should be doing if you're struggling. No spend January is where it's at. So, but there will be people that are going to tell you some other tips and tricks that you could be thinking of rather than just no spend January because it's not right for everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this: being frugal is kind of annoying.
Yeah. But you learn to live with it.
Yeah, you do.
I'm frugal. I'm just naturally frugal, so it's not really annoying to me.
Yeah, sometimes I don't spend nothing, but sometimes I do. But it's best to not.
It makes you think, like you look at the value of the things and things that you've been spending money on, and then you realize, like, why am I giving these companies my money? This is not worth it at all.
No, but so we're gonna get into these people's suggestions, and for some short ones, we're gonna kind of shut up for a second so we can collect all of them because we got a lot of videos today, guys.
We have too many. We couldn't choose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
People on my feed talking about no spend 2025 or no spend January. And I totally understand where you're coming from, but from a manifestation perspective, I want to bring something to your attention. A couple of years ago, there was this trend called the We Have Food at Home Challenge. And I thought it would be a great thing to do with my family because we spend so much time going to like little convenience stores, getting snacks in the morning.
Sorry, it's funny. Cause that's just a thing. Why you gotta make everything a challenge?
Yeah.
That's what my mom would say. Like, can we get some McDonald's? No, we got food at home. That's what it is. Come on, man. Ooh,
Dunkin' Donuts is a big one because I'm from Boston originally and we run on Dunkin'. And just basically trying to cut down on unnecessary spending. So the rules for this were really simple. We just had to not eat out. Anything that we ate had to come from home. Now, let me preface this by saying my family is very well off. I am a life coach. I do really well for myself. So we did not do this from the perspective of we couldn't afford it. However, what I realized was that doing this challenge would actually end up creating a scarcity energy in me that caused me to have the lowest cash month in like 3 years. And that's because I had created this artificial scarcity by doing this We Have Food at Home challenge. So because I was shrinking my money container, I wasn't actually saving money. I was just becoming more aware of the money that we needed to save. That was the month that I got absolutely petrified about how to pay a $30 bill or, oh my gosh, this is coming up, because I was so conscious of the money container and the fact that I was trying to save money. The same thing would happen when I would try to cut something out of the budget. Suddenly that money didn't appear for something else, it just disappeared. So something that you might want to try, if it's within your means, is to expand your money container instead of shrinking it. Don't try to save and not spend as much. Try to make more. Try to manifest more. Play with the energy of manifesting an extra $50 this week to cover your Starbucks instead of cutting out your Starbucks. When you
Okay.
okay. You know what? This is gonna be too mean.
What? I get what she's saying because a lot of y'all are manifestors and you want to create your reality. Either way, whatever your approach is, you still have to be realistic and look at what you can save rather than just careless spending.
It's not mean anymore. It's a mental health. That's not a mental health thing, but that's a mental thing. It ain't gone, dog, and you don't need to go get that Starbucks. Go get some coffee. You don't need to cut it out completely if you don't want to cut it out completely. Just go grab something cheaper.
Yeah.
What? Huh? I'm confused.
Give someone else a coffee, but the whole idea is no spend January is you're spending on bills, but you're cutting back any other expense. Like you're not shopping, you're not doing all that other stuff that you don't need to do. So yeah.
It is the first week of January. Happy New Year. This month I am doing a no spend challenge for 31 days, and here are my rules. I am spending no money on out-of-pocket travel costs. Traveling is a luxury, and I do plan on moving in March, and my birthday is in February, so this month I am spending $0 on travel. Unless it's for work and it's being covered. I am spending no more than $150 on restaurants and dining out. This shouldn't be much of a challenge because I started cooking more as of recently, so I think this one is pretty doable. I will be spending $0 on drinking and nightlife. Don't invite me to the club, I will not be there. That probably won't be much of a challenge because I pretty much got everything out of my system on New Year's Eve, and as for the club, there is nothing there for me this month. I will be spending $0 on Uber/Lyft. Do have a $200 credit from my job every month for Lyft, so once that credit is used up, I will just drive everywhere. And then lastly, I'll be spending $0 on new clothing and shopping. I do have a birthday in February, and I will be going to a wedding in March, so this will change for the next month. However, for the month of January, for 31 days, these are my rules for my no spend challenge. Now that I'm 100% debt free, this challenge will really help me to build up my emergency savings fund, which is my next step.
I'll say this, and it's crazy like how we spend so much, because this is a simple don't spend for a month. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
As long as you can feed yourself, you don't need to spend.
And it's great that he's already debt free, so he's trying to build up his emergency fund. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Save and invest.
I just completed 31 days of no spending. Here's how it went. I was also featured in the HuffPost for my no spend January, so I'm kind of official. Just a mini recap, I did no spend January where I spent $0 on any excess spending outside of groceries for my family and gas for my car. My goal for no spend January is to figure out my triggers for spending and to come up with a better formula for me to spend better so that I can be in a better financial situation for myself and for my family. Was very strict with my no spend January. I mean, I had no little caveats in it to help me spend here and there if needed. And I think my strictness made it very difficult for some people who wanted to do it as well to succeed. I also implemented a list for later so that whenever I wanted to buy something, I would just put it on the list. And so then now, today, I can review that list and see, are these still things that I want and need? The list for later is probably my biggest tool because I am a huge impulse shopper. Those Instagram ads, Facebook ads get me. FOMO gets me from here on TikTok, and the fear of like things running out or just not being able to have the newest and best thing. And so putting on that list has been able to help me like work through that FOMO or that like need to spend. I'm sure you guys are all wondering, was I successful during No Spend January? Did I spend any excess money? And the answer is yes and no. Me and my husband do have joint finances, and so we have budgets set in place for our kids and for date nights and to going out to eat as a family, but still able to enjoy family dinner at Chick-fil-A. Me and my husband went on a date night to sushi. I was even able to buy my kids rain jackets when it was raining for like weeks here. But again, my no spend January was solely a me thing for my extra finances because I don't have a budget in place for my own money. And that's something that I learned during no spend January, that I need to have a budget in place because I like to shop. I like to go to get coffee. I like to go to Chick-fil-A for lunch sometimes. I sometimes want to buy random shit at Target, and that's okay. But I have to have budgets in place so that I'm not overspending, because that's my biggest problem. If you want to do a no spend month, I definitely encourage it. Figure out your reason why though, because that's going to hold you to it versus just, oh, I want to see if I can't spend any money. You're going to fail. You're going to fail because I've seen so many people fail and they just gave up. You have to have a reason behind it. Figure out your motives and your purposes for doing a no spend. And then don't be super strict on yourself like I was, and have little things in place to where if you're out and you have to eat something, buy yourself some lunch. Don't go starving yourself, okay? I promise you, you'll have a successful no spend month. You'll figure out your triggers. You'll figure out why you're spending so much money. And then you can take all these things that you learned like I have and implement it for the months to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Very
that
true.
works.
Once again, I feel like it's kind of sad that I'm glad she got the intention for his post, but it's kind of sad that this is a new thing for people. Isn't that crazy?
We all have a spending addiction or something,
For real.
but you just gotta be realistic. Like, everyone wants to have something, but you just have to create a budget and be realistic, because if you don't, you will fail no spend January.
It's crazy to not spend money.
Yeah.
What if I spent nothing for the next 337 days? Would it change my life? I challenged myself to a no-spend year, and the number one question I've been asked is why on earth would I trade a life of convenience for this? Good question. Over the last few months, something in me has been calling to a life of minimalism in some way. I stopped going to the nail salon a few months ago. I cut down my hair appointments. I've actively been trying to not fall into the trap of a lifestyle creep, spending more as I earn more. And it's only been a week, but there's something really calming about not needing anything, not impulsively buying the best or the latest, and a newfound appreciation for things I already have. As someone who could very easily spend a lot in a week, there's been a sense of stillness in just not doing it.
I wonder what it
Today's
is.
total spend, £1.95. What if I...
Yeah, don't spend.
I'm paying off my credit card debt in 2025, and one of the ways I'm going to get there is through no spend months. I'm doing my first one in January. I hope to finish 6 before the year is over next year, not this year. And these are ways I'm preparing for success in January. So first and foremost, I'm going to do an inventory of my pantry, my freezer, my fridge, and see if I can do a big grocery shop now before 2024 is over, so that I don't even have to step foot in a grocery store in January. That would be ideal, but I do think I'll probably have to go for some like fresh produce every couple of weeks. I'm going to do the same thing in our bathroom, although I'm pretty sure we're already all set. But to make sure that we don't need any personal care items of any sort in any category. This includes something as simple as like toilet paper and paper towels. The goal is to not step foot in a store at all, because when I step foot in a store, that's when all that temptation comes back. And sometimes the temptation isn't even silly things like clothing and shoes and makeup. Sometimes the temptation is just as simple as, oh, I'm buying groceries now, I'll just buy a couple extra things so I have to do less groceries in February. I just want to avoid it altogether. Another thing I'm going to do is I am going to dust off every single hobby and craft that I have ever owned, so it is prepared for those days when I'm bored and a little bit stir crazy. New Hampshire in January is actually not that fun. It's going to be cold. So on those days, I'm going to have something to turn to. I do a lot of things like painting and coloring and making paper beads and just air dry clay. Like, I'm gonna make sure it is all ready to go, and I might even make a little basket for myself and just like leave it in my office for easy access on those nights where I'm feeling like super stir crazy. Another thing I'll do is I'll prepare an at-home date night of some sort, or I'll start looking now for free date nights. So similar to the last one, when I'm feeling stir crazy, but when me and my husband really just want to like get out and reconnect, we will have some options to turn to that don't involve spending money. I'm also going to go ahead and print out a calendar now for the month of January, and every single day I will detail how much money is spent on anything, including bills. And then the goal by the end of the month is that the only money that has been spent will be on bills. I'll also go ahead and look at January right now. I use like a spreadsheet to budget every month. I'll take a peek at it right now and make sure that I fill everything in so I know what to plan for money-wise in January. So wish me luck. I hope it'll be a really good January, and then that can maybe just like feed into a really good February, March, April, and the whole 9 yards, you know? Okay.
Sounds like it will be a good January. She's got it all planned out.
Yeah, I always say that it is good to have an extra income for the groceries and stuff, so you can just do a big purchase and don't worry about it.
Yeah, go to a bulk buy store, Costco, stuff like that, and just buy in bulk, and you'll be set for the month.
For real.
Sometimes even more than a month.
For real.
Day 30th, no spend January. It is a green day. We did not spend any money today. Excuse my dirty fingernails. I worked in the garden today. People have been asking me, are you so excited to be done with January so you can just like go buy a bunch of stuff? And I'm like, no. I am excited though to buy stuff to shop Easter baskets, and my daughter's second birthday is in March, so I'm excited to like shop for that too.
Don't go buying a bunch of stuff in February.
I'm seeing a lot of people do no spend January, and I wanted to share what I'm going to do for the month of January. I'm calling it low spend because there will be spending, just with a lot more discipline than I normally practice. So clothes, shoes, accessories are obviously no-goes. If I have my eye on something and really want it after the month is up, then I can get it then. Makeup and skincare, I think I'm fully stocked on, so don't need refills and won't be trying any new products this month. That one should be pretty easy. Unnecessary meals out, as in like takeout just for myself on a weekday or whatever. The only exception to that is if I'm off work past like 8:30 at night. I usually just get Chipotle, and I still will, which is maybe like once every other week. So that should be no big deal. I've seen a lot of people say no books. I will still be buying books. I only read 1 or 2 a month anyway. And I just think that is always a justified purchase. Of course, you can use the library, but
Yeah.
I like to have them and keep them, and I will not restrict myself from books. Special coffee once or twice a week. Again, it's a happy part of my week, and I don't want to restrict myself in that area. Plus, it adds up to like only $15 a week, so that one can stay. Meals out with friends, family, birthdays and stuff are kind of inevitable. Plus, it's a lot of my social time is spent eating with people, so that is staying and justified in my opinion. And then if I need any essential product refills, toothpaste, shampoo, anything like that, I don't think I'll run out of anything this month, but obviously if I do and it's an essential, it can go. So that is my discipline for the month, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm gonna say this. This you can pirate books. It's not hard. Just go on the free book site and just be right there. You can read it and you can buy it later.
Yeah, and just review everything, evaluate like this, and see what works for you. Everyone's going to have their deal breakers, but they have to be realistic. If you have too many that you're not willing to flex off on, then you're going to have to reevaluate, because for some people, $15 a week is a lot, but then for others, it's not that much, and it depends on your budget and your income and situation.
It is for coffee for me.
Yeah, we make ours at home, so like we're not going out to buy coffee.
We pay at least $30
not even a month.
Every 5 months.
Yeah,
for coffee stuff. So
yep.
Yeah,
you can save a lot of money that way.
Why I will not be participating in No Spend January as someone who talks about money, budgeting, finances on the internet. I feel like No Spend January has become a huge fad, especially with creators who talk about money and finances and stuff. And I know a lot of people that are participating in it, that are doing it, but I will not be. In fact, I have had a few people ask my opinion on it and why, like if I'm going to do it or not. So I figured we could get into it. Number one, not only is it important to understand money, but it's also important to understand your relationship with it. I've never been someone who is good with restriction when it comes to dieting, money, or anything. No Spend January could very much lead you to double spend February. As a human race, I believe that...
Hold up. Once you said that, I noticed something in the comments.
What?
Double spend this area doesn't sound too bad.
Don't.
What's the point of doing this?
I was just about to say that, because y'all are talking about no spend January, and it really is obviously becoming a fad because everyone's saying that, but then like, is it actually contributing to anything, or are you just doing it because everyone else is doing it?
Now you know exactly what they're doing.
That we are not meant for restriction. We're meant for moderation. The goal is to not restrict your spending. The goal is to manage it. I don't think it's manageable, and I think that it can lead to overspending. So yeah, the second that I first heard about it, I was like, yeah, I will not be participating in No Spend January. This is just my honest opinion. Like, no shame if you are doing it, or, you know, if you're a creator that talks about it, that's awesome. Obviously do what works for you. And like I said, you need to understand your relationship with money. For me, I know as a person, I've never done good with restriction ever. When I try to go on diets and restrict myself, it always leads to me overeating. When I try to restrict my spending, it always leads to overspending. I want something that's more sustainable, and money management is sustainable for me. It's something that I'm going to be doing forever. A restriction you can't do, it's called a restriction for a reason, because you literally cannot do it forever. And I also think that the reason why a lot of people don't budget is because they don't like restriction, and they view budgeting as restriction. Now, I do not view budgeting as restriction at all. Like, I still get my nails done. I do it all. As long as you have the money for it and it's in your budget, I think you should be able to do it. As long as you can afford things, you plan for them, they're in your budget, you should be able to do them. I think there's no reason to restrict. We're humans. We're going to want things naturally. And especially if you're on TikTok and watching this video, you are constantly going to be shoved products on your For You page. For example, I got this. Trash takes itself out every single time. Taylor Swift spent $15 on it. Love it. Worth the $15. Now, if I was participating in No Spend January, even though I bought this in December, but let's pretend like I bought it in January. And you know what? My urge got the best of me and I bought it anyway. It would cause me to feel so guilty about it, even though, guess what? This was in my budget, totally affordable. I could totally do it. There's no reason that I would need to make myself feel bad about spending money on this sweatshirt because I wanted it and because I could afford to do it. So yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on no spend January. Do whatever you want. Like I said, learn your relationship with money and how you handle it. For me, restriction has just never been a good thing for me. It always leads to overconsumption. Always, just with me. And I think that's the truth with a lot of people. So it's something that I won't be participating in. And I really do think that it could lead you to overspending in February. And a huge reason why I feel like a lot of people do no spend January is because they overspent in December. So they're like, oh, I'm going to start my new year out right and do no spend January because I bought a bunch of Christmas presents and December is just an expensive month. But it doesn't need to be that way if you just manage your money correctly. For example, I'm not 100% sure. I have to look at the rundown in the finances, but I'm pretty sure December was one of my lowest spending months because I managed my money for Christmas shopping and all of that stuff prior. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. Don't feel bad if you're not participating in it. I will not be participating in it. I just don't believe in restriction. And I don't believe that budgets need to be restrictive. You can either afford it or you can't. And you need to act accordingly based on that.
I'll say this because we real fast. That's true because a lot of people are trying to be less spendy, more frugal, but they're being more like not, I won't say a downer, but they're not really explaining things. They're like, nope, not doing it. Instead of just saying, I don't think that's a good idea, but not in the budget.
Exactly.
Instead, it's like, no, it's stupid. You're stupid. That's stupid. You're dumb.
And how do the other months look? Because you're overspending in all the other months, but you're just doing no spend January to say it and then to help yourself feel better, but it's not doing anything. It's not actually productive.
For real. So if it's not good for your mental or you're gonna end up spending more because of it, don't do it.
Exactly. And we're basically not even participating in no spend January because this is just us all year round.
Yeah.
Guys, it is no spend January, day 2, and I already lost, and I'm so mad. Okay, here's the story. I got a gift card from one of my students' families to go to the spa, and it was a 60-minute Swedish massage with gratuity, okay? That's what the gift card said. When I called them, they're like, yep, checks out, great. I get there, I'm thinking, wow, this is nice. Day 2 of no spend, and I'm having a $200 massage. It feels great. I go to check out at the end, and I give them my silly little gift card, and they're like, oh, well, we need $18 more. Keep in mind, I know that $18 isn't much, but it's day 2, and I already failed no spend January. And I was like, oh, the gift card says it's the Swedish massage plus gratuity. They're like, yeah, that's what you had, but it's still $18 more towards that gratuity. And so I was like, well, I don't understand how that could be. You agree that this is what the gift card is, and that's what you told me. They're like, yes, but this week is our busiest week, so we raised the prices. So this gift card could have worked last week or next week, but this week, since it's our busiest week, we've raised our prices. Bitch, what the fuck? Literally, what the fuck? And then I was like, okay, I have cash, because I'm trying not to spend things on my debit card. I've been using cash. We don't take cash. Well, what do you want me to do? They're like, well, we have a card on file for you. And I was like, no, I don't want you to charge that card. And they're like, well, you can take your cash to this reverse ATM down the hallway and come back and pay the $18. And part of me was like, this gratuity, this lady is already getting $80 out of me. The gratuity on that gift card was $80. She got paid over $1 a minute. So now I'm $18 poorer, and I failed no spend January.
Hit the light.
This sucks, sorry. But, wrong one. I love it when the light goes out on us.
For real, it finally couldn't put. Anyway, yeah, that's right there. Stupid. I would have thought that too. No, the gift card said this. I came in with a gift card. You changed it on me last second.
Exactly. These companies, it's ridiculous.
I got the card right here. It did not say nothing about me paying an extra $18.
Don't fall for it. They want their money.
I'm doing no spend January, and this is every single thing I bought to get me through the no spend January. We all have different goals for no spend January. My goal is to not step foot in a store, a grocery store, a department store, literally any type of store. I don't want to step foot in it. The only exception is going to be to go into a grocery store for fresh, raw produce, and the goal is to get about midway through January before that might be necessary. I went through my pantry, my freezer, my cabinets, like everything. I made about 15 recipe ideas for dinner. I have lunches in there. I have breakfast in there. I checked in to see if we needed toilet paper, paper towels, the works. People think that when you pre-buy, it's not a no spend month, but I can't go 30 days without toilet paper. I don't want to buy that in January, so I'm going to buy that now in December. I'm starting with this sweater. I did not need it. This was not on the list, but I do have the matching Pop Flex Active purple skirt. So when we saw this at Target, my husband was like, you know what? Get it. I know how much you love that skirt. And our thought process was, we don't know if this is limited edition or if it's going to be a part of a permanent Target collection. I did not buy this, but this is broth that I made today. So I'm going to go ahead and make soup. So I have a number of canned goods to make a number of soups throughout the month. I have plain non-fat Greek yogurt to make dips with, and to go ahead and make the like 2-ingredient pizza doughs and that sort of stuff. Pickles, because sometimes you just need a pickle. Absolutely. Lots of produce. So we have cucumbers, and we have kale, and I have zucchinis, and I have broccoli and peppers and sweet potatoes. The works. What I plan to do is I plan to take stuff like the broccoli, which I will be cooking before we eat it. I'm going to prep it now, and I'm going to freeze it. So when it comes time to cook it, I won't need to worry about buying it, you know what I mean? So we could use the broccoli later on in January and not worry about it going bad between now and then. I could have purchased frozen broccoli, but I just like how this cooks up better, so I went ahead and did that. I also got some skincare. I used the last of my facial moisturizer today, so I had to go out and buy some more of that. I got this spray. This is hypochlorous acid. Usually I don't allow myself to buy new beauty care products, but I have been breaking out a lot on my face and my back, and I heard that if you use this after a workout before you can get into a shower, it can help with that. And that's why I think I've been breaking out more. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. And then I have like 2 days left in my hyaluronic acid. I use it every day, twice a day. So I got another vial of that as well. We bought a quarter of a cow earlier this year, so I'm not too worried about beef, but I went ahead and I bought a whole chicken. It happened to be on sale. And I got a family pack of chicken, which will get us through the month in terms of protein. I got some cheese sticks as a healthy snack. We still have some chomped beef sticks and mixed nuts, so we're good in the snack department. And then to ring in the new year, I have the tiniest little bottle of Prosecco. My husband doesn't drink, so that's just for me. And I got the ingredients to make Chippy Boys, which is a recipe I see here on TikTok all the time. It is kettle cooked chips, blue cheese. You like toast it up so the cheese gets all melty, and then you finish it off with a balsamic glaze. So that's everything I bought to get me through until January 31st, and hopefully maybe even through February. I don't know if I'll be able to go without grocery shopping again, but I do want to see if I can just take the no spend January and just keep that, you know, the good times flowing throughout the majority of the year.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, that's what you should do any day, for real.
For real.
I feel like this grocery shopping is not, to me, it's not part of no spend January.
Yeah.
It's just a part of life. Yeah, you should try to go less, but I don't think it's a no spend for me.
Exactly. And if you do this all year, it doesn't need a hashtag, doesn't need to be flashy. If that's your goal, that's what you need to do. And even if you like fail no spend January, if it was in your budget and you had the money, then it's really nothing to feel bad about.
Yeah, I'll say this. That one recipe, Chippy Boy, sounds disgusting. I'm gonna be real, bro. I don't think it's me. Just give me a kettle brand chips and some dip. Don't. No, okay. What better dip would have been? That Greek yogurt, a little bit of pickle, some garlic, some onion.
Yeah.
Boom, right there.
Sounds good to me.
I made some rules for my no spend, low spend 2025. Holding myself accountable. Okay, first thing is replacement purchases only. When something is empty or just about empty, you have 1 or 2 more uses. No more Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, to-go coffee. It's my last day. I'm just kidding. This was actually on a gift card, and that is going to be one of my exceptions. If you have gift cards, I mean, I could spend them. I actually do get a lot of gift cards from the online reward store at my work. Fine, but I'm not spending money on any to-go coffee. I've been making cold brew at home, and I need to drink it. Yeah. Next thing is unsubscribing to all of my monthly or annual
apps on my phone, and I went through that last night. The exception was Apple Music. That was the only one that I left. Every other one, honestly, you should go through yours because there were a lot that I completely forgot about. Okay, next one was streaming platforms. So currently I have 4 and I'm going to take it down to 2. I wish I could get rid of all of them. I might take it down to 1. So I have Disney, Netflix, Hulu, and Peacock. Hulu and Peacock are out. I'm thinking about keeping Disney and Netflix. No new home decor. None. I'm not buying any picture frames, any wall hangings. I'm not buying new bedding. I'm not buying nothing. No new home decor. My house is beautiful. I don't need no new shit. No new clothes unless it is replacing an item. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to this. I have said this before and not fallen through. So, 1 in, 1 out. And that includes not buying any new outfits for parties or events, weddings, those types of things. I always have to have a new outfit. No. Either shop my own closet or borrow something. 3 additional, they're not really rules, but like points. I'm going to have a huge garage sale in January and get rid of a lot of stuff. The rest will go to the Goodwill, I guess, which I don't really like the Goodwill, but it's the easiest, unfortunately. My nails, I can't give it up. So I'm going to go from doing every 2 weeks, which I currently do, to going every 3 weeks. I have to keep my nails done because I work sales and customer service and I do contracts and I use my my finger to like point where they need to sign and stuff, and I just feel like it would be really tacky because if I didn't have them done. So I feel like this is kind of a part of my work. And then the other thing is activities are okay. I can spend money on activities like going to the zoo, going to the museum, those types of things. Those are making memories with my kids, and I don't think that's frivolous spending. But I'm talking about the consumerism. I am just getting rid of all of the stuff. It is clogging my brain, clogging my life, and I need it gone. I need to save better. I don't save at all.
Real.
And I like how she's doing a low spend 2025 because let's be real, it's not no spend. You are spending, and it's for the whole year, not just January.
That's a saving. We don't need to make a thing for this. It's stupid.
For real.
But smart.
Exactly. And if you need money, like, you can definitely sell a bunch of stuff and you can get a lot of money from that.
Yeah. We need to sell this 2 TVs out in the corner over here.
Yeah.
So I read a thing that said $27 a day of like frivolous spending gets you to $10,000 a year. Every year when I get my new planner, I sit down, I make all these goals. Like, I don't want to call them New Year's resolutions, but I do say like, these are some goals for the year. If I can't stick to something for a month, how am I ever going to make it to a year? So this time I've set a goal for January, no spend January. And already right now, I want to get a new water bottle because this honker is great and I drink a lot of water through the day, but I'm tired of taking this places and the embarrassment of when I drop this or it rolls out of my car. 31 days of not spending money on anything that's not an expense or like gas, groceries, my gym membership, things that are already happening. Like those withdrawals are still going to happen. I'm talking about I don't need to pull through the drive-through for an acai refresher, and I don't need to pop in Goodwill and just see if there's something I need. Like, I can skip a trip to TJ Maxx. There are emails I'm getting now of things on sale, and I'm so tempted to be like, ooh, I should just get that. If I didn't need it before it was on sale, like, I don't need it now. So my plan for the no spend, it's only 31 days. I do have some exceptions. Please don't come at me saying, like, you're already breaking your rules if you already have excuses. Okay, well, my birthday's next week, and we have a reservation already. So, yeah, we're going to dinner. Hopefully he's going to buy birthday dinner, so shouldn't have to worry about that. Otherwise, looking at my calendar for January, I feel like it's easy to say like, ooh, I'll do it next month because I have XYZ coming up. But every month of the year, there are things like that people put off doing their goals because of the time. Well, the time's going to pass anyway. So January, my birthday, and 2 friends' birthday parties later in the month. That means they are getting probably handmade gifts or something that I cook. I do have a facial one day, but I bought it in December when it was on sale, so that's already paid for. I'm just showing up for it. I've been making a list of things that when I get the urge to go shop or spend money or emotionally get to a place where I'm like, oh, treating myself would fix me, I have a little list of things of like what I'm going to do instead. So, and my plan, if I really do need to buy something, is put it in notes in my phone. And in February, if I look at that list and still want to buy it, great, I'll buy it. But I bet there's a good chance when I look at that list in 30 days, I don't even want this stuff anymore. $27 a day, frivolous spending, gets you to $10,000. Alexa, what's 27 times 365?
27 times 365 is $9,855.
Okay, $9,855. So if you spent $30 on a few of those days, easily you could be at $10,000. And I would much rather put that towards something that feels much more substantial than only 30 days, 30 more days. This feels like an achievable goal. I'm going to stick to it.
Like, I'll say this, at the end of the day, this is all just saving money. And yeah, you spend a lot of money. 27 is not that frivolous. To me, it's not that frivolous.
Yeah, but when you look at it from like a year, I guess 10,000 that could have been invested. So anything you can cut out is valuable.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, so when are you gonna have, like, at the end of the day, if you even save that, you're not gonna have like. You've tried to. There's a lot of things in the way that are going to keep you from getting that, but save as much as you can. That's what I'm going to say.
That's why you create a plan so that if you cut something out, that money automatically goes into a high yield savings account or a brokerage account or anything like that.
Yeah.
Before you try to do a no spend January, I need you to watch this video. If you're new here, I'm Allie and I help you create a realistic financial plan you can actually stick to without cutting the things you love. Yes, you can get the latte. The new year, new me. I feel like everyone overspends at the holidays, which I totally understand. But then everyone jumps into a no spend challenge and like truly, I hate them. I work for you. You're the exception to the rule. Congrats. But for 99, fine. I'll give you 95% of people, they don't work long term. They don't actually get to the root cause of why you're overspending. If you weren't prepared this holiday season, you're not going to magically be prepared for next holiday season. That's just the honest truth. And if you have to do multiple no spend challenges, like you're doing one in January, you're doing one in February, you're doing one in April, June, whatever, then that's a problem, right? Like, didn't fix your issue. You just have to keep doing these challenges to not spend instead of actually getting to the root cause of why you're overspending and then never having to do that because you just spend intentionally year round, like year after year, which is the goal, right? That's something I can help you with. There's multiple ways to work with me and I have a ton of free resources, so go check them out. If you struggle with overspending this holiday season, here are some tips. First things first, debrief and then go through and see how much you actually spent this holiday season. That will help us set up a sinking fund for next holiday season so you don't have to feel like this ever again. Next thing we want to look at is your spending triggers. So if you go through your last few impulse purchases, what were they? What were you feeling in the moment? What was going on? So we can really dive into why you're overspending. Next thing we want to look at is setting some spending rules. That varies per person and like kind of what you're struggling with. And I have a lot of ideas. If we work together, we can dive into that. For example, if you overspend on Amazon, maybe add it to an Amazon list instead of your cart to get yourself to pause. Next thing, we want to make sure that you have spending money in your budget. To me, it's a requirement. Fun money needs to be in your budget. If you don't allow yourself to spend, you're just going to deprive yourself and then binge and like buy everything, which is why no spend challenges don't work in my opinion. We want to learn how to spend intentionally and just reduce the impulse factor. So if you're thinking of doing a no spend challenge, just maybe think twice about it. Really dive into why you're overspending and learn how to spend intentionally. And if you need help, that's what I'm here for.
That's what a lot of people don't pay attention to. So stop paying attention to the hashtags and the trends. Pay attention to your situation.
Yep. I gotta say.
So I really want to participate in a no spend challenge for the year. However, if you have a personality like I do, when I heavily restrict something, it only makes me want to do more. So instead, I'm going to be doing a light spend challenge. And here are my rules or stipulations for the year. So my first one is going to be finish a product before buying another. I am really bad about not finishing skincare and then buying something new, or not finishing body wash or candles, anything like that. I need to finish the product before I can buy something new. The next thing is I need to do inventory before I go grocery shopping. Taking inventory of my pantry, my fridge, my freezer before I go grocery shopping. My next one, and this can be up to you if you want to do it or not, no holiday themed clothing. I am very much a person who will buy a Christmas shirt, wear it for the season, and then never wear it again. And it just ends up getting thrown in the back of my closet or donated at some point. Something in, something out. If I buy something new, I have to get rid of something else, period. Just because it's on sale does not mean that I need it. I am a huge victim of big sales, shopping when something seems like it's on a really good deal, and then sitting there later and being like, why did I even buy that? Last one is specifically for me as a mom, and I know that other moms can agree with this. Just because my toddler shows a tiny bit of interest in it does not mean that I need to go balls to the wall and buy every single thing that they possibly make in that theme or item or whatever. If you want to join me, we are doing a Light Spend 2025. I'm really excited to update you guys on how this goes. Here is to a hopefully good year of building my savings and not filling my house with random shit.
All these start sounding a lot the same to me. Just stop spending, bro.
For real. And like something in, something out, it sounds good to me, because if you want to spend money on something, but you have to sacrifice something else, you will see, is it actually worth that thing that you have to sacrifice other than just money?
Yeah.
I do a no spend January, and I heard some of you want to do it with me, so let's go through our details and rules to set us up for success. First, get your significant other on board. If you are doing this alone, it's not going to work. Establish the rules. Me and my husband's rules are we are only spending our money on gas, groceries, and 1 coffee a day per person. If we want a second one, we have to make it at home. If we want to go get a Lotus, it must be made at home. That means I need to prep now with Lotus, because Lotus is not in the groceries. That is a no spend item. So our exceptions are, my husband's birthday is at the end of the month, so I will be buying gifts and everything birthday related. I also have 2 showers I'm attending, so gifts for those are also an exception. What is not an exception is eating out, period, and it is the most challenging part, so here are my tricks. I have a list that has 3 categories: very easy, and like regular meals. That way on the nights that it's really tempting to eat out because I don't have the energy and I don't want to do dishes, we're making mac and cheese and we're having chicken sausages. Or a frozen pizza. I bought food storage containers early. That way when it comes to my husband's lunch, it's a lot of the time just going to be leftovers. I'm telling you, this is very challenging and really hard, but one thing about me is I am competitive and I will be winning. And like I said, this is a no spend January, not a low spend year, because realistically, I do need to buy things. Doing this the first month of the year after all of the holiday chaos sets you up with some habits. And those habits spill into the rest of the year, helping you have a low spend year. Let's talk about bumps in the road, because like I've said, I've done this the last couple years and there have been a few bumps. What do you do if your friends ask you to go out to dinner? Do you say no? Do you miss out on the friend time? No. Now you're not asking them to go out to dinner. You do go, you just go and you don't ball out. Another example is all of a sudden Little League registration is due. What do? Not let your kid play Little League? No. You sign them up and then you remember that next year to do it before January. Also, take a look around. Are you going to need face wash? Are you going to need basics? Buy them now, because those are not an exception in January. Now, don't go out and shop a bunch, but basics, necessities, absolutely get them stocked up. Nails, hair, lashes, all of that is not an exception. So say hello to my nails the entire month of January. If one breaks, if one chips, that's that. Either take them all off and don't have them, or make an appointment for February 1st. Gift cards don't count. You got a gift card for a service over the holidays and you want to go get that service? Absolutely. Are you adding on to that service? You're not. If you want to add on to that service, book that service in February. Honestly, it's kind of fun. It is a little hard. I live in a really dark, rainy state. We are inside. Sometimes you just want to get out and do things that don't cost money. Go to your mom's house and have a visit. Ask her to make you dinner. I don't know, but don't spend money. Are you doing it with me? Toodles. I do.
See, that makes sense though. Especially if you have a partner, you both should be on board and set the budget together.
Yeah.
And the nails break, it doesn't matter.
All right, you guys, I have to be so real with you. December literally ruined my bank account. It picked up my little budget sheet, it crumpled it up and lit it on fire and threw it out the window. The amount of food that was consumed, the amount of drinks that were drank, the amount of gifts that were purchased. I am sick. The amount of Boxing Day shopping I did. The only way for me to financially recover from this is to do a low spend January, okay? There is no other way for me to reset and get my life back together other than doing a low spend. This has to be done. So, this is my list of rules for my no spend month so that I can try and financially recover from whatever the hell December was, okay? Number 1, no buying lunch at work. For real. I think that I'm like addicted to buying lunch at work because I'm like, oh, I'm working so hard. I deserve to buy a hot lunch today. Oh, what do you mean? Like, just heat up your pasta and go. And sometimes I don't eat breakfast either, so then I have to buy breakfast too. That is a double whammy. I rebuke that. I can never, ever, ever buy breakfast and lunch again on the same day. That is insanity. Number 2 is no eating out unless it is with a purpose. I really don't want eating out to be like a common thing for me. I want it to be like there's a special occasion, so I'm going out to eat. I don't want to be super comfortable with just being like, oh, let me just pick up food on the way home. Like, no, I just need to grow up and thaw the chicken in my freezer, okay? I'm sick of myself. Number 3 is that I'm not allowed to buy any new clothes and no new shoes. I am going on a trip in the middle of January, so it's like a 4-day weekend trip. Obviously for the weekend trip, I'm gonna have to pause the low spend. But I'm not allowing myself to buy a whole bunch of new outfits, new shoes, all this stuff before I go on this vacation. I don't need it. Last but not least, number 4, I'm going to find activities to do with my friends that don't involve going out and spending a lot of money. Everyone can just come over for a movie night and we can make popcorn and we can crochet on the couch. That's what we need to be doing in 2025. In fact, I'm going to ask my friends to do a low spend month with me. Like, why not? Okay, we can all encourage each other. So this is how I'm going to be starting off the new year because I really want to start it off right and I really want to set myself up for success throughout the entire year. So let me know if you're going to do it with me.
That sounds like a good plan, especially the eating out because they take a lot of your money.
They do. Oh, they do.
Here's the problem with No Spend 2025, it's super unrealistic. For some people, it would work to go cold turkey and cut out any spending, but for a majority of people, including myself, it will benefit you well past 2025 to actually put in steps. So going month by month, the first thing you want to do in January is create a budget. Because it's awesome that you're saving money, but where is that money going to? Are you saving? Are you investing? It's also the perfect time to use all those gift cards that you got for Christmas. In February, you're going to cancel any subscriptions you haven't used at least 4 times in the past month. Every subscription that I personally have, I use at least 8 times a month. In March, you're going to cut out fast food, including ordering in. You should never be ordering in anyways. Those fees are super expensive. And if you start in March, you'll notice a change for your body around summer. In April, we're going to do spring cleaning and sell all of our clothes that we don't use anymore. In May, we're going to start couponing. If you haven't already, you should be getting all of your household items for free. Couponing saves me at least $700 a year. In June, you're going to cancel your gym membership for at least 3 months because it's way too nice to not work out outside. In July, you're going to start your Christmas shopping. I know it sounds too early, but I promise it's not. In August, you're going to revisit that budget. Can you cut out an expense? 99% of the time, you can. In September, instead of buying something right away, maybe add it to your Christmas list. Chances are you might not even want it in 3 months. In October, we should be maxing out our emergency fund if we haven't already. In November, we should be completely done Christmas shopping. That one seems hard, but all the deals that you're getting in November and December, they're not deals. And then last but not least, in December, we're maxing out all of our investments. So, in my opinion, here's the problem.
See, for real, you need to create a plan all year round. It shouldn't just be January.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot of discourse on no spend / no buy 2025, and I just wanted to add another layer of like solutions or perspective on like what you can do if you want to purchase a product and you're just in mental warfare. Ask yourself, especially if it's a publicly traded company, well, I guess only if it's a publicly traded company, do you own stock in this company before you purchase this product? Now, this is some advice I got a couple years ago, and honestly, like I kind of apply it sometimes, but sometimes my fingers just be hot. I just want the goods, okay? I just want to go to Ulta and just do, but I own Ulta stock. But anyway, with that being said, before you buy the new iPhone 35 that comes out next year, ask yourself, do I have Apple stock? So while you're participating in No Spend and No Buy 2025, if you are ever tempted, you should be asking yourself, do I own stock in this publicly traded company? And as a frequent buyer, you're the perfect person that should have stock in that company. So not only are we going to come out of 2025 being a little bit more minimalistic, okay, we're not over consuming, our pockets are going to look so cute. And on top of that, we're going to be investors because we're going to invest in some of our favorite companies. And as someone investing in your favorite companies, you'll know when the water is getting a little muddy and it's time to get out of there. Like, you're going to look around the store and like, Ulta is not what it used to be. You're going to go check the stock. You're going to be like, oh, it's going down. And you're going to put your money out. But that's all I got to say. Bye, y'all.
I like how everyone tells you to go spend, but they never tell you to invest in the thing that you're spending, because the company that you're constantly making rich, they should also be making you rich at that point.
Every 30 to 60 days in the U.S. economy, in order for us to not go in a recession, there has to be at least 70% consumption. If it drops below 70% consumption, we go into a recession. So how does the U.S. economy make sure that they are sparking consumption? There is a lead, launch, and sales process. Watch. February, so January, top of the year, people are traveling. So they are capitalizing on travel, etc. Top of the year, New Year's Eve, New Year's. February, you have Valentine's Day. March, you're going to have some made up thing on the calendar in March. So normally it's like some traditional holiday, whether it's a President's Day or whether it's a St. Patty's, all these, right? You normally around April time is where you get Easter. Right after that, you go into May where you're going to get Memorial Day. Right after that, you're going to go into June where you're going to have Juneteenth and several other like local holidays. You're going to have 4th of July in July. In August, you got back to school. In September, you're going to have Labor Day. In October, you got Halloween. In November, you got Thanksgiving. In December, you got Christmas.
Sheesh.
That is a launch every month.
Come on, man.
I don't know what to say about that.
Like, that's actually ridiculous when you look at it, because the government, all the companies, they just need you to constantly be addicted to shopping and spending, and that's how they get you, because a lot of people out there are addicted to shopping.
I guess so.
As you can see in these videos.
Yeah.
But like we said before, if you're going to participate in No Spend January, make this a year-round thing, and rather than just a fad or a hashtag, because you need to be constantly looking at your budget.
Yeah, that's all I can say, because there's nothing for me to really say. They just said, everything I said earlier is the same thing I say later.
Yeah, but make yourself rich rather than these companies that don't care about you. They don't care about consumers or their workers or anything except their margins.
Yeah.
But
that's all I gotta say. I ain't got nothing to say about this video anymore, man. This has been so long.
if you made it to the end, thank you for watching this long video.
Yeah.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share the video. And please get us to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, please do. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye.